Hey, so I wanted to finish up on those sketch notes that we started about the Adams years, and we didn't get a chance to finish. So we talked about the XYZ affair. I don't know if I told you, but the reason why they called it XYZ is because the three senators that were sent to France, they tried to keep their identities a secret. So it was like Agent X, Agent Y, and Agent Z. And then, of course, the other thing that we learned about with our little French dude there, pick a side. You know, Hamilton said Jefferson loves France more than he loves the USA. And Adams, who would arrest any non-citizen, paranoid of the spies. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the third box and work on that, okay? So, the Sedition Act. So this was a law that was passed by Adams when he was president. It was his idea, and it was passed by Congress, which had a lot of Federalists in it. Adams was a Federalist, just like Hamilton. And basically, it said any false, scandalous, or malicious writing, especially if you were criticizing the government, would result in an arrest. And as we mentioned in class, 26 people were arrested. Now, you might not think that's a lot, but back in the 1790s, that was definitely a lot. So if you criticize Adams, you would find yourself arrested or paying a heavy fine for sure. So I drew two little papers here. You can just draw two squares and put the squiggly lines in there, but that is the Sedition Act. It was highly criticized. People thought that Adams was basically stomping on the First Amendment and didn't care about it, and that he was getting way too powerful, and that was one reason why he was not reelected. So let's talk about that next election. Moving on to the final square, okay? Okay. Election of 1800. Okay, so at this time, they had whoever got the most votes would be president, and whoever got second place would be vice president. And as we've talked about before, that could be a big problem if you're in the opposite political party. So for this one, Jefferson and Burr were both running as Democratic Republicans, and Burr was hoping to be the vice president. So what's crazy about this one is that it tied 36 times. So Jefferson did eventually win with 73 points to 65. Those are the Electoral College points. Remember, they didn't have all of the states yet like we do now. Burr ended up being the vice president. So they tied 73 to 73. 36 times. They had to eventually take it to the House of Representatives to vote. And finally, some people were swayed and changed their decision to where Jefferson would win. So what is important about the election of 1800 is the first time that power switched from one political party to another. So from the Federalists to the Democratic Republicans. And this is something that our country prides itself on today, is the peaceful transition of power. We don't have a war every time that somebody new is elected. We are able to have a peaceful transfer of power. So I'm going to just show each of these slowly so that you have them all. Make sure you got that. Then here's the bottom part. And feel free to pause the video if it was going too fast or if you needed any extra time. Maybe we could put a little extra something in here. Maybe like a voting box. So I drew a box and I'll put a little check in it, okay? There. Okay, little box with a check mark in it, which kind of stands for voting. So those are our sketch notes for the Adams years.